Hi there, this is Pascal Dooley, aka the Jonin Monkey, bringing you a director's commentary of the video game Troubadour review for Ogre Battle 64. Now, this is kind of a milestone, both in my progression as a video reviewer and the fact that it took so long to make. Yeah, I honestly don't mean for that to happen. It's just one thing led to another, and, well, yeah, you get the gist. Also, I don't ever plan to make you wait that long for a review again. It's circumstances were out of my control, let's just say that. And yeah, I really do like the logo, although I'm not sure I'll keep the title card showing the game because I'm not sure if it adds anything at all. And that's why I'm trying to re-edit the intro so that the need for a title card is, well, gone. But yeah, this review took so long to make. It actually gave me time to just change the philosophy I go into video reviews, because believe it or not, this is actually the second time round I had to film myself in front of the camera, because let's just say, not only did I really dislike the footage I had the first time round, but also there were loads of technical glitches which meant the video file became corrupted and I couldn't use it, and then another battle glitches which meant it wouldn't recognize the editing software I had wouldn't recognize the source files, and it was a nightmare. But yeah, this actually bringing up to this point on now, getting back to what I was supposed to be talking about. One of the ways I decided to change direction was talk more about the writers, because I think it's only fair that if I'm going to have that slightly pretentious introduction bit where I claim I'm taking gaming narrative to the next level, I should really talk about the writers, because for better or for worse, these people deserve credit for the work they do, because a lot of people talking about guys like Shigeru Miyamoto and Kojima and like all the directors, but often than not, I mean, okay, maybe Kojima was a bad example to bring to this, but more than not, they don't actually have any involvement in the story. I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto has only produced the latest Legend of Zelda titles. He hasn't had a very big role story-wise for donkey's years. But yeah, I should probably start talking about the game itself. The whole idea for this review came about because when I got started in Game Troubadour, Sven sent me a PM of an ESIC basically saying, hey, one game you could do is Ogre Battle 64. It's a little cheesy, but I like it. And I was curious to check it out because I hadn't seen it before, and, well, I found out the reason why that was because apparently this didn't come out in Europe the first time round on the N64. We only got it during the Wii's Virtual Console, so originally I hadn't played the game through myself, but I had sort of eked up this very detailed walkthrough, because, yeah, usually what happens is if I can't get access to the game itself, I try to, but if I can't get access to it, I usually try and find video walkthroughs, and there's a lot of them online, and it's really, really useful for stuff like this. But yeah, I've played the game since then, and I have to say, yeah, while I do see what Sven says about the whole cheesy elements, I have to agree with him. It is really enjoyable, despite the really hammy nature of some of the script, and also just the odd lines, which you see throughout the review, to be honest. And yeah, the information it throws at you is just staggering. That's why I kind of throw in the whole joke about me making notes throughout the entire introduction, because yeah, it expects you to remember a lot. But I think the weird thing with stuff like this is that once you get absorbed into it, you'll just be fine. You just accept all the information as it comes. It's when you try to explain to someone like that it sounds a bit complicated. It's like when you try and explain the plot of an RPG like Final Fantasy VII or Tales of Symphonia to somebody. It makes perfect sense to you because you've had time to absorb the information, but when you try to explain, oh yeah, it's simple, Cloud's a soldier, it genetically enhanced, soldier, he was but, that kind of thing, it just sounds really confusing to some people. Yeah, overall, I really do like the game, even though the gameplay is slow and the chaos of the fame system, which I do get on a rant on. And yeah, as you may have noticed, I had to do a lot of the voice acting in this. There were so many characters I just couldn't do it on my own, which is why I pulled in Sven. And yeah, that was also part of the reason for the delay, because one of the other things we were trying to do, because since there were female characters, and I really didn't want to do female voices for reasons that become painfully obvious when you watch the review itself, I was trying to find some female voice actors for it, but it didn't really work because I even had people just say they were too busy, some people not reply, and some say they would do it, but then I never heard from them again, so yeah, it's one of those things that couldn't be held, and thus it delayed the review for a while as well, so in the end I just bit the bullet and said, you know what, screw it, they've been waiting for far too long, so I might as well just get it out there and just swallow my pride, as it were. Because, yeah, part of the reason why I got suspended in the first place, because I'm not a professional voice actor, as you've probably guessed. I mean, I like voice acting as a hobby, but I'm not that great, because I really haven't developed a range of that kind at all, so I can kind of sort of deepen my voice or kind of put different emphasis on it, like when I'm doing the salesman, I kind of emphasize the happy cheeriness, that kind of thing, but that and making completely different voices is not the same thing, and as such, there are a lot of characters in this who just sound the same, and yeah, for future, I think I may get out some external voice like this, but it's tricky because, well, it's kind of hard to try to explain to someone, okay, I need to give you this one line to read in the middle of a review completely out of context and try to give... I mean, I can try and give them the context, but it seems petty to just hunt down some professional voice actor who takes their work seriously. Well, professional online voice actor, you know what I mean? Just grab someone out of nowhere and ask them to do a line completely out of context. I mean, it kind of works for Sven mostly because, well, A, I know him, and B, he already knows the context since he played through the game, but just trying to explain to someone else, it's just... it makes things a lot more complicated than they need to be. And, yeah, the whole Ganondorf and Ymil thing. Yeah. This is something I noticed on my second playthrough, but when I was through the second time, I could not believe how obvious it was, the fact that he kept going, I want power and all of that, so that's part of the reason for that joke. Maybe it was a little bit of a predictable getting the no thing, but man, it works. Actually, also speaking of the game, Hugo, the guy on screen now, I didn't get the chance to talk about him much, but honestly, I'd say Hugo's one of my favourite characters, mostly because I have a feeling he's how I'm going to end up in a few years' time, because he does have a lot of wisdom, but he does have a sort of grumpy, sarcastic edge to it. Like, when there's bantics between when there's bantics? Oh man, I'm really screwing up language today. When there's when there's an argument between Leah and Dio, there is a moment where they're having this like really easy standard argument, and Hugo just goes, "Oh, for crying out loud!" as if he's bored of it. And not to mention the dialogue I've often pointed out several times, where they say, "Magnus, don't feel responsible for us being hit there," and that kind of thing. And there was also like one moment where Magnus is having flashbacks, and there's one moment where he goes, "For goodness sake, Magnus, we don't have time for you to space out every 5 minutes." Like, it's just that he's often really cynical, or he's not afraid to knock someone down when he needs to, but at the same time, he's got the whole well of wisdom and everything like that. And you may wonder why I'm zipping through the plot in the review, and I actually did get cut on and say it was really hard to keep up with the plot, and well, part of the reason is because, yeah, there's a lot of information and plots in Ogre Battle, but at the same time, it's also possibly because of a slight shift. One of the criticisms I got for some of the earlier stuff I did is that I was essentially just giving away spoilers, because I can see where they're coming from, because if I'm recommending that something's like good or bad, I am kind of just giving away everything that happens. And there's almost no point in watching after that. I mean, yeah, you could say that the people give away spoilers like the Nostalgia Critic and Linkara, but then again, the thing is, they always review only the bad stuff, so it's stuff that people shouldn't have to sit through, like, in one sitting. It should be just them showing this is how bad these things can get. But in this case, when I'm reviewing both the good and the bad stuff, I do have to see where they're coming from, that it's kind of unfair for me to just give away spoilers. However, the show is what it is, and I have a feeling that just completely changing the format out of nowhere would just cause a lot of confusion and unnecessary strife. I mean, I could cut it down so it's like only 4 or 5 minutes and just try to avoid spoilers altogether, but it just gets way too confusing. It would be a really dramatic change, and it would probably just annoy people rather than all of the people that welcome it, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, VGT is what it is, but what I'm trying to do now is just give it a bridge version of the plot, and not comment on every single thing that happens, so that people can play the game themselves, and there'll still be new things that they can discover within it. Like, there is so much the Ogre Battle's plot I've removed. Like, Mari's role is slimmed down significantly because it's revealed that she has magic power, hence why she's needed to summon Danica. And then there's also a character I completely ignored named Zella, who is basically the one that's trying to manipulate Lodis behind the scenes, and the one who, well, gives Mari the power and has a connection with Danica. And there's even more of, like, there's actual justification for Richard that I didn't have time to cover, where essentially Richard was, in his own loving way, trying to make Baldwin a tougher, stronger knight so that he could reform the Knights of Lodis, because they felt it was decayed under the rule of the Triumvirate, hence why they were trying to find the ultimate power in the first place. It's complicated, there were a lot of subplots, but I decided, you know what, it's going to take too long to explain it all anyway, and it's going to spoil it for people who do actually want to watch the game. So, not watch the game, play the game, for people who actually want to play the game. So, yeah, like I said, I keep to the bridge plot and just mention a few highlights, and so, yeah, from now on you can go to the game and you'll find new stuff I didn't comment on to enjoy. And after all that deep conversation, we now end on a boob joke. Yeah. Only the salesman can say stuff like this. And yeah, that's the character's official name. See you in the next part.